pay yourself first, you won't have a problem paying anybody else. Because you'll have money saved up, and you'll have, things are going to happen. I think Marcus mentioned last week when we were talking about saving, families contributing money together, that literally people will find a reason. There's always something that's going to happen that's going to take away from what you're trying to do. So, cushioning for those bad days, that's detrimental. Marcus, do you want to hop in from there?
Yeah, I think the main thing is like, what is the plan? Everybody comes up with, I'm going to save this, or, I'm going to have that saved for next year. But what is the outcome of the plan? Like, what steps do you have written down? Because, I'm going to be blunt. We all come into that situation where, say, well, we pray to whatever God we got to get $20,000. As soon as we get $20,000, it's gone next month. So without a plan, I think the whole thing of it is we have to have a step of what the plan is. Unfortunately, like Courtney said, I'm not the one to brag about the wealth either, but I look at the situation like me, Courtney, and Lena and them had. I always say it's young and dumb, but it's just, you can be young and dumb at 50 to 60 years old if you don't have a plan. Yeah. So I guess we've experienced our dumb ages because, I've seen times where I come in Courtney's house and you can't go through because there's just bags everywhere.
That's when everything is bad mentally.
Yeah. But we've changed that part of it. So it's about growing into it. Well, it's almost like you can learn from our mistakes, but it's also, we've already paved the road of, okay, well, we've been wealthy, we've been broke, we've been wealthy, we've been broke. So I can say we've been wealthy less times than we've been broke. So it comes up, it's always having to find something that you're doing for the steps. So what is that plan of yours? What is the first step? Okay, if Lord would say, so you got real estate and you got a deal and you made 100,000, what's the plan for the 100,000? What is the 5-year plan of making that 100,000, a million?
That's right.
And I think the key thing of it is who you surround yourself with. If you got 10 friends or 2 people you call your friends, I just want you to take one question when we get off the conference call. Start a conversation and say, you know what, I'm going to make $500,000 by the end of the year. If you don't have one of them that's positive, they're going to say, well, yeah, you can do it.
Right.
Then you don't need to really talk to them about nothing financial or nothing business ever again.
Yeah, their mind isn't right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I'd like to add something too with Daryl. It's the same thing. I've seen Daryl at the point where he was at the top of his game and broke, and not broke, getting it, I remember when the Cadillac truck came out and he was one of the first to get them. We used to go to the club and he, buying every single person in the club, whatever they want. and my right hand strike me dead right now. I watched him and I watched the girls that were in the limousine with us, the one that he paid for, keep coming up to him, I want to drink. And every time they wanted to drink, he gave them $100 every time. And I went up to him and I was like, are you drunk and you don't notice what's going on? And he said, well, nah, I know what I'm doing. But I want to start right there, Daryl, because I know that you have learned so much from that. And so many young people right now have that mentality, make it, blow it, and want to impress people. And I know that you are far beyond that now, So do you want to talk about that?
Oh, yeah. Learn from my mistakes. Absolutely. Like Courtney said, and now going through all that, being a young guy, I look back at that time and say, if I could really either have the mind that I have now back then, or have the money back then that I have that right now, it would be a total different ball game. But the way I look at it now is that the struggle is a gift, because what it allowed me to do is to really get to know who I am, and to also get to know who my real friends are. Like, that's one thing I can say about Courtney. She was there when I was getting it, and she here when I ain't getting it. You know what I'm saying? So that's when you got good people around you. A lot of people wasn't there. A lot of people was there when we was balling out, having a good time, and I was just throwing money. Everybody's gone now. But the beauty in all of that is the fact that it allowed me to really get to know who I am and really get to appreciate who you are as a person. And I think, like anything with financial, getting anything, any kind of money or getting anything, the first thing that you have to know is who you are, you know, and know who the people around you are. Because people will use you up. People are, you know, say get what they can from you, and then they're gone. And the same thing with you to yourself. You will use yourself up. You know what I'm saying? You'll just be piddling around and jumping around in this life, not knowing who you are, not knowing how to save money, not knowing anything. And then you'll end up in a situation like what I am in now, but I don't look at it as a curse. It's a gift to me because it had allowed me to really tap into who I am. And really, honestly, I'm like at one of the happiest points in my life, because now I know when it come again, not if I get it again, when I get it again, it's gonna be on. So that's from my story. Just, you know, if you got a struggle you're going through, just be happy in it. You know, it's a lesson.
Absolutely.
I call it feedback. You know what I mean?
Life giving you feedback.
Feedback. It ain't failure, it's feedback.
I absolutely love it. And then Zelina is on here as well, and it's the same story. I've seen her at her best, and I've seen her at her worst. I've seen her in situations where, like, this call is all about like building confidence, because that's what it takes to achieve certain things. But to build confidence, you have to start setting goals and achieving things. That's what makes you feel good and worthy, and your esteem is up. And it's, you know, I've watched her, you know, be at a 6-figure job and believe in herself enough to know, like, you know what, I'm getting ready to stop this because I'm getting ready to go do my own thing. I'm not going to sit right here and work for somebody else and do that. You know, so I've seen it go up and down with pretty much everybody on this call. And I think that's where the connection is, and it's real. And through everybody's struggle, we got the formula now. So we know how to win. I remember, you know, me and Lena always saying, oh, we're going to be a millionaire by this time, or we're going to do this we had all these goals. Oh, we'll be a millionaire by 30. You know what? 30 came, I wasn't a millionaire, and that's fine. But I was much further than where I was when I started. And, you know, one day I looked up and I'm 36 and I get my financial statement and I realize, like, God damn, I'm a millionaire finally. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. And I did nothing extra, but it was just that faith, that unwavering faith that I knew that's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And I think we all feel the same way. And this call is about those things, like accumulating wealth, but knowing how to manifest those things. So now I'm gonna turn the mic over to my girl. So
yes, definitely. I agree with Courtney, Marcus, Daryl. All of us have definitely had it, not had it, not had it, and it's definitely not an easy thing. Real estate for me, you know, being around Courtney and learning different things always just really provides you more options. And the more options you have, the more you feel like you're making progress, and the more you feel like you can achieve those goals, especially when you have the right people around you to help you get step by step. Because a lot of it is fear. How many people on the call want to get into real estate, but you're fearful about it? Anybody? No? Okay. Yeah.
Hold on. Man, my eyes just gave.
That's Tina. It says Tina.
He raised his hand.
Oh, she said her. Okay, yeah. And, you know, so for me, I'm an artist. So it was something totally different for me. But I've really starting to enjoy the process, because I have come from a sales background as well, but also just learning how to have more options so that you can create the wealth and the lifestyle that you want.
Absolutely. And like she said, real estate provides those options. So I think everybody on this call knows what it can do for you. And I got into real estate because I'm, you know, through Marcus. I was 20 years old, met him. I just started real estate school and bought my first real estate investment property through him. And literally the rest is history. I had my ups and downs in real estate as well, but I was one of those people that bounced back because it was one of my passions. And then now, you know, knowing what I know now, it's just a ticket. I mean, you got people investing in their 401ks, and they're doing this for 40 and 50 and 60 years. And, you know, it takes that long to become a millionaire. And, you know, doing it that way. When you can get in this business right here in 1 or 2 years, you popping. You know, you can make that money and you can enjoy it in your 30s and 40s and 50s. You don't have to wait till it's time to retire to get your Corvette. You know, you see that. You don't have to wait to get that. You know, what did Sam call it the other day? The Heaven's Waiting Room with Eric to retire, Florida. That's Heaven's Waiting Room.
Yeah.
But you don't have to wait that long. You can enjoy the fruits of your labor at an early age. So I will always push real estate, especially for my people. Like, this is something that needs to be taught in school. Nobody's teaching this. You know, it needs to be. But, you know, we get how to with isosceles triangle and shit that we're not going to use ever. We can learn about that later on, you know. So anyway, I don't want to be the one to gavel on. Anybody else want to chime in?
I get a question that people have asked me, which was, you know, how do you get involved with real estate with no money? Is that a question that anybody on here is interested in getting an answer? Okay, good. I want to make sure that we're answering questions that you want to know. So let us know what you want to hear. But if that's something you want to talk about, let's do it. So, Court, you want to go first, or Marcus?
My answer would be, the first one would be credit. You know, you have to know what your credit is. Your credit is $1 million waiting if it's together. So it definitely would be, mine would be credit, and if not credit, savings. Because there's always a way around of doing it, because if you don't have great credit, if you have savings in the right property, it's always hard money lending out there. It's something you can make it happen. You just have to. Marcus,
stop right there. You said hard money lending. Most people don't know what that is. Can you explain what that is for us?
Hard money lending is someplace you would have to have, it's companies that give you loan if you got 20 to 30% down. And it's based on the value of the property. You know, whatever that property is or whatever that project is, that they feel like if they have to take it away from you, they're going to win. Yeah, it's a high interest rate loan for maybe 6 months that it takes you to get your property together and to sell it or refinance it to get it in without having credit. So if you got bad credit, you know you pretty much ain't financing it. So it better be something pretty good where you know you're going to be flipping it off the market real fast to pay them off and to make your money.
Right. But if you have bad credit, the one cool thing about credit, if you don't know, is it can be repaired. So there are so many people out there, and I can actually suggest people to you if credit is your issue, so that you can start beginning to repair your credit. Your credit, just because it's bad, doesn't mean, okay, I don't have good credit, I ain't got no money, I can't do real estate. That's not it either. There's also ways that you can get in real estate called wholesaling. So let's talk about that. Courtney, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Go for it. It's not really my thing, but I do know about wholesaling. You can get into it. What you do is, you know, you find a property, and you have to have a pool of cash buyers normally. And you find a property, and you contract with the owner. So if that property was $100,000, worth $100,000, you would go in and maybe negotiate it down to $75,000 or $80,000 with the homeowner, and then you would then assign that contract after you get the contract from the homeowner. You would assign it or search for a cash buyer and assign that deal to them with a fee that you have on top of it. So I got the property for $80,000. I went under contract for $80,000 with these people, and now I found a cash buyer for $85,000. So I will be the middleman, and I'll make $5,000 on that, and I didn't put anything into the deal. So those deals are out there all day long. You have to put in the work. Like I said, if you don't have the money or the credit, you have to put in the work to make that happen. But it's totally worth it. And if you don't have the money, come on, you're just connecting people. But it takes work, because you have to find who those cash buyers are, and you have to research and find the buyers that may be willing to do those type of deals with you. Is that where we're going, Lee?
Yeah, that's just so. I hope that helped anybody that was that has asked that question, because you do get it a lot. It was a question that I had myself.
Okay. What in real estate when you're trying to do those kind of deals? What do you consider good credit, bad credit? Where's the cutoff? What should someone have when they come to the table to do something like that?
Well, and it depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to do something commercial, and Marcus is your financial guy. He's done loans. I've done loans, but I haven't done them since, it's probably been at least 8 years for me. So he would probably be your guy. But when it comes to commercial, it's going to be a different score. Residential, you can be as low as a 620. They've brought some more programs in where it could even be as, a little bit lower than that. But I think that base score is 620 residential. Marcus, you want to chime in on that?
Yeah, that's the base one. They have a few out now that's in the 580s, but it's like a clean 580. It's like an impossible getting financed 580. You got 580, but you got 40% sitting in the bank for 6 months. Well, no one has that. So you're basically going to be at that 620. 640 is always great to have a 700 because now you really don't need anything. And like I said, when it comes to commercial is a little bit different because you don't have all those legal requirements. Mm-hmm. You can go in a commercial deal with 50% owner finance from the rest and other 50% from the bank. It's a different ball game than residential because of all the fraud and everything that happened down in the past, brother. So, but getting a deal it's not like Courtney was saying, the real estate is out there. It's just people won't go look for it and put the work in. They expect for somebody to come to their door and say, hey, I got this great deal for you across town. I just need you to drive over there and look at it. Mm-hmm. And it just doesn't happen because they're over there. It's just, I look at it as much time as people spend on Facebook and Twitter. You can spend half of that and find your property that day.
Absolutely. I mean, Lena tell you, we sat at a table for 10 minutes and identified a couple deals, left out of the house right then when we seen them, went to the house, talked to the guy, and pretty much made a deal. The only thing he's waiting on me to draft up an agreement, And those things, it's like you said, if you can waste time on Facebook and social media, and some of y'all I don't know, and through social media, I know you. So I'm glad you do it, but we also have to be disciplined with the time that we put in on those things and monitor, what we have coming into our heads and what we're looking at on a regular basis. And just know what our goals are. And that's the main thing about wealth is just developing disciplines to win and sticking to them because, it's not enough to just know what to do. One of my sayings that I just cringe, people, when people know better, they do better. No, they don't. People know exactly what they need to do, but they don't do it, so that's like the most cliche. People don't do what they need to do. So it's like, we're hoping that we can help mentor you all to bridge that knowledge and action gap. So the moment you think about the things that you should be doing, get up and do it. Because you got 5 seconds before your brain talk you out of it. 5 seconds. Get up, take action, do what you need to do. And if there's people on here that need to start repairing credit, like Lena said, she can probably refer you to people. But everything, if you're on this call and the stuff, while we're talking, I know we're triggering things that's going on in your life, stuff that you got going on. Reach out to one of us and say, hey, what's up with the credit repair person? Can I get that referral? Or, Marcus, I know you said you did loans. Can you pre-qual me? Let me know where I stand. Hey, I want to get into real estate with no money down. I want to know some strategies. How can I get into this? Or even to the point where, hey, you know what? That whole inner peace thing, Daryl, like you don't even understand. People don't understand what Daryl provides is priceless because I feel like so many of us right now are walking around and we have no clue who we are, what we want. You just literally following the herd. And inner peace is so important. Reach out and learn some of his strategies. Meditation. I think you have a meditation call that you started not too long ago too, right, Daryl? 5 a.m. 5 a.m. Yeah, connect with Daryl and start those meditation calls.
That's the best time.
Huh?
And let me chime in real quick. Like a lot of times people think about like money and wealth, and you think about a dollar amount. You don't always have to think about a dollar amount. Like you may not strive to be a millionaire, but the one thing that you want to think about in life is that money, what we all really want, but money brings choices. So when you want to be able to make certain choices, so whatever those choices that you want to make, that's what you want to shoot for. So if you want to be able to put your kids in the best school and live in the best house. You got to kind of make that, those decisions, travel when you want to travel. That's how you base, you know what I'm saying, your happiness is on choices, not just directly on a dollar amount. So, you know, that's what goes along with getting to know yourself, you know, really knowing, like Courtney can say she want to be a millionaire, and you can say, hey, I want to be a millionaire, but your actual choices that you want to make could require you to be, you know, a multi-billionaire, you know what I'm saying? But you got to know who you are. And it may not require you to make a million, you know, it may require you only be whatever. But it's about your choices, knowing who you are and the things that you want from life. Everybody don't want to be a millionaire, but everybody want to be able to make choices when they need to. So
absolutely,
I think in that aspect as well.
Absolutely, and those disciplines. And we got a young lady on the call now who, you know, for a while she kept telling me, I wanna, you know, go into real estate full time. She was teaching, and you know, she came a little bit early before the call and was like, you know, I had a 5-year plan and I'm there and I quit my job. And so that's Miss Tina here that's on the call. And that's what I'm talking about. Like having a plan and being disciplined enough to execute. And I don't know if she had somebody in her corner, like that was there, like being an accountability partner or not. Don't know. But, you know, some people need that, some people don't. And that's what we're hoping that, you know, we can be to you guys. And anybody want to chime in from that? No?
I think what you also, I have to piggyback off what Daryl said. It's basically you have to be comfortable with yourself, you know, because you can make, it no matter how much money you can make, you'll spend it all trying to please yourself to make yourself feel better. Mm. You know how many broke millionaires there are out there because of that same reason. It's always something that's going to remain them to spend more money on themselves to make themselves feel better.
Yeah.
And I think through our past and through all the people we've been around, several of them that are like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, Daryl, we were talking the other week, you know, and people spend all this unnecessary money because there's usually some kind of a void, you know, something that the self-esteem is low. It's just a void that they're trying to fill. And, you know, because what the heck? Like, and it's crazy because the more successful you become, the less you start caring about what people say to you, what people think about you. You know, I don't care that my hair's not done while I'm on this call. I don't care. You know, you don't care, you know, what people think. Exactly, Tina.
You don't care. Look at my shirt. Look at
his hat.
Now mindset, you know, excuse the language, but you really get to the point where you don't give a fuck. And I learned this from a couple of partners that they were already millionaires, and I'm using their money and I'm pulling up, you know, in my luxury cars to their beautiful homes. And, you know, he got on some shoes that came from Sam's that he buys twice a year, and stuff like that began to just get my mind right. I see your bank account because I'm working with you on a regular basis. So what's more important to me, that I provide a legacy for my family, or that I look like I'm this part and I'm not this part yet? So at some point you have to get over, and I don't know if it's a just a Black thing, like in our community, I don't know. But we have to get out of that. We have to, you know, just strive to be better and not just look better. You know, you can have on a pair of $200 shoes and you're not fooling anybody in this community anymore. You're Jordans, but then you pull up to your house in the hood, you're not fooling people. And that's the thing, you know, just stop trying to please other people and get your own stuff together. That's where we are. Yeah.
And another thing we don't do in our community is, you know, pool money together to try to achieve something. I was reading somewhere today where a guy said we went up to one of the Asian ladies in the beauty salon, and he was like, you know, are y'all getting these special loans when y'all come to America to be able to open up all these, you know, businesses in our neighborhood to profit from it? And the Asian lady gave us some insight and said, you know, what they do is they get about 10 to 20 people that will put $10,000 in a pool. And then they'll, one at a time, take 100,000 out or whatever, and then they'll start a business. And then their family will work for that business until it's established. And then they have to pay that money back in, and they do it throughout the community until they set up a barbershop, a restaurant, you know what I'm saying, a cleaning service. And they do that. Everybody minimum low wages to build a business, but they work together and they employ their own.
Yeah, Marcus can speak on that because he works with a lot of foreign investors, particularly Asian people. So he knows a lot about like what they invest and how they can become citizens when they pull so much money to America. Do you want to speak on that? We got about 8 minutes left. So
yeah, what they do is they do this thing called EB5. EB5 is where all of them in Asia, they will put in $250,000 a piece to put into a pool to get a visa to come to America. So when they put that in, they also, that money generates, it's a pool they have to spend in America. They have to get a project that's $80 million and above that they use to get in America. That's why they're always looking for apartment complexes or shopping centers. When they get that part, then it comes into, now they get their green card to come to America. So when they come to America, they already have their financial stuff is with their banks. And like Daryl was saying, they already got a separate pool that they got together. So you might find 10 of them living in one house. They just started a nail salon and a tanning salon, and then they work in it from it is, and then they buy another house, and then they put the money back, and then they go get 2 more, and it's just a domino effect.
And that's crazy, man.
If we could just work together on a small thing.
But that'd be the main problem, though.
Huh?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
That'd be the main problem, though. We don't come together as a culture.
That's it, Sherman.
That's it.
That's it.
But we can, though. We definitely can. We can begin that. We want to start doing that here. Why not?
Yes,
Yeah.
because like you say, like if like some of us see, like a bunch of us coming together and like you say, buying restaurants, buying stores and everything, a lot of people be like, hey, they can do it. Why can't us?
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Right. Yep. But you know what? I think if we can train ourselves to stop looking at things so materialistically, then I know that we can. I do properties and, they're not in the best conditions. And I see these Spanish people, 5 of them may come together, like Daryl just mentioned, and buy this $30,000 home, and then either live in it or split the profits and flip it and sell it, work on it together, whereas in our community, we'll go take that $10,000 and probably go buy a car,
Exactly.
Like so if we can first get our mind right, and that's what this is all about. If we can help everybody get their mind right and get disciplined enough to, kids want what they want and they want it right now. We're grown, man. We have to exercise some patience and discipline and come together. And I know it can happen. And I feel like if everybody on this call feels like that, it will happen. It'll happen.
And teaching, you know what I'm saying? Opposed to just teaching right now. We want things right now. Teach vision. We got to be able to show people how to say, look forward, not what's going to happen right now. You know what I'm saying? So another thing I want to just say, everybody that's here, if y'all would just invite somebody else next week, everybody bring a guest. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then we can just kind of make this thing happen organically, and maybe what next thing, we might have a group of people that want to do a project together. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter, but people keep inviting people. If people get this information, we can start to elevate. And I think that's what's important.
And also, the people that are on the call, can anyone let us know if there is a question that you have, or bring a question, or because we want to make sure that we are helping and answering the things that you want to know, so that you're getting out what you need.
Oh, real quick, y'all, there is a raise your hand button on here. If you tap the screen, you can raise your hand if you want to chime in and we talking too much. Because, I'm really kind of calm today. Usually days I bounce off the wall. But when I bounce off the wall, y'all can just raise your hand and I'll stop. Yeah, it's a little button to raise your hand. Get used to the feet. Again, invite some people, y'all. Let's do this. This is the thing about being Black. We got to just come together. So if everybody invite one person and we teach somebody to invite one person, next thing you know, we got a major movement here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
See, Daryl, my biggest fear is failure. Like, I don't want to just start it and fail, and I'm scared of failure. That's my biggest fear.
But you know what?
But if you have a group of people that's invested into it, I think we can get it started.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do it. I think
fear, right, is success.
Right.
The fear be that thing to stop you from getting there.
Yeah.
The other side of you're fearing. Ain't no fear. Let's just
Fear
go.
is false
Man,
evidence
like-
appearing real, and you have to really step into fear, and especially getting into real estate, that could be hard in the beginning, but it can be done. I know we're about to get off the call, but I'll see you guys next week.
I think before we get off, I think before next week, I think everybody needs to take this week and find out what your credit is. Pull your credit, free credit report, know exactly what it is, so you know exactly where to start. A lot of people don't like to see it, but it's still there. It ain't going nowhere. It might fall off if you wait 7 years, but I don't know if y'all want to wait 7 years to try to do something.
Yep, that's your action item for tonight. Find out where you stand with your credit if you don't know, and then create a budget. Know what you have coming in, know what you have going out, and you know, just be disciplined with what you're spending. Be intentional. What we heard last week, I mean, the other day, Daryl, what that man said, if you tell a $10 to sit, I guarantee you it won't leave until you give it permission.
That's true.
Be intentional. Know what you're doing with your money. So next week, everybody need to have a budget. Everybody need to know where they stand with their credit, and we can help you from there.
Hey, yo.
Let's go, y'all. All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, guys.
All right.
Yeah.